Hi, my name's Jay, and I'm 22 years old, and I'm going to be narrating this drawing that I did. I've been drawing ever since I was little, and, you know, I'm very used to doodling, and I thought this drawing was just going to be another one of my doodles, but I ended up getting attached to it and sticking to it, which I'm very thankful for. When I draw, I don't really have a plan or destination or even like a plot of what I'm drawing or what's influencing it. I kind of just start drawing lines, and then whatever I see within those lines, I highlight and add detail to, and it kind of just turns into this big mess that develops a meaning over time. And this drawing became very important to me because it's funny how, like, things that we don't normally um, think are going anywhere, when you put in work towards it, it can really develop a meaning. It can really showcase something's going on here, and I should really trust the process. Is kind of was my thought process throughout drawing this. Um, I started this drawing 5 months ago in January of 2022. I think the beginning, and again, it was just a doodle. It was just me like being like, we'll see where this goes. I did have a small intent of drawing like some figure that was kind of confused, maybe a little deranged, and it turned into this insanity, which I think is beautiful. Um, and I would show my friends and family over the course of time with this drawing, and they would love the progress, and they would ask me, "What's it mean? What were you thinking? What?" And I would ask back, like, "What do you see? What does it mean to you so far? What's like, what do you think I was thinking?" Um, and I really enjoy other people's interpretations of art. I think art in general is to be individually interpreted. It's how we take it in, and I would love to hear how other people view this drawing, what it means to them. What details stick out the most to you. What was the first thing you noticed? Uh, what does it mean to you? What do you think it means to me? I think is very fascinating because a lot of the time, I'll have my relatives be like, "Oh, you were thinking this," or "Oh, you were doing this." And I was like, well, I had no intent, maybe subconsciously I was thinking something. And I think that was the point of this drawing because it turned out to be very subconsciously driven. You know, um, I've always struggled with maintaining a doodle or, turning it into something big or meaningful. Um, but I'm very glad I stuck with this drawing because it pointed out a lot of highlights over time, and it kind of became like a crutch. If I was in a bad mood, if I was in a good mood, if I just needed to, waste some time, I would come back to this drawing and just slowly add something new. And I really like that about it because of how it turned out in the end. Um, I call this drawing the subconscious rings of fate because of, the brain spiral coming out of this person's head, which is attached to an eyeball that is looking through these rings, that is going back down to the finger that is pointing behind them. Is very interesting, and later on I add red strings that are connecting to the arm, to the rings, but also if you see that the hands are actually backwards, like the thumbs are on the opposite sides of where they should be, where if you look at your hands. And at first I thought, well, that's a mistake, and then I kind of never fixed it because I felt like it added some type of illusion or oddity to the drawing, or maybe it means something to somebody else. Um, Kind of like a two left feet type of thing, maybe, where it's like maybe this creature that's coming out of an eyeball feels as though they're incompetent in some way, or that they don't know how to go towards where their eyes are looking, which is at their hand, and they're very focused on the wrongness of it. Which is funny that I'm looking at it now, and I've stared at this drawing for 5 months, and it's the first time I saw that. But the red strings that I applied to the rings, I really enjoy how the last string or the first string that's coming off, that's kind of emitting from the finger that has the string tied around it. We all know about the red string of fate, or I hear in some cultures it's love string or like your soulmate string. I'm not really sure. I just thought red looked cool on the drawing and it ended up like that. Um, I view it probably the thing I notice in this drawing, even though this drawing does have a lot of detail. The red string that's tied around the finger is almost like a promise to oneself. It's kind of like holding the power to the entire drawing, because, the rings are there. They're connected to the arm, but they wouldn't be connected to the arm without that red string on the person's finger in the first place. It's almost showing like the beliefs we hold about ourselves, about our lives, about, what we think about. It kind of does show a subconscious desire or fate of who we are and what we can do and what purpose is, and all of these deeper things that I personally love to think about, because I'm a very philosophical person. And within those philosophies that I've accumulated over my so far 22 years of life, I get very interested in belief systems. My subconscious, like my dream states, have always been very important to me in a creative sense, where, when I was little, I would try to draw my dreams that I had, because I've always had very vivid dreams, and I thought they would make good storylines or plot lines. As you can see, on the lower right-hand corner, I'm drawing these trees with these little figures, and they have masks on. And when I was younger, I kind of created a little dream world, or more like the dream world created in my dreams, and I would start to make a storyline out of it. And when I was a teenager, I started drawing these people I would see in an enchanted forest in my dreams. And one was called Blue, and he had ellipses on his mask, and one was called Red, and he had a exclamation point on his mask. And the person that I would play, running through this forest, I would wear a yellow hoodie, and I would have this mask with a question mark on it. And so when I was a teenager, I would draw these. I would try to make like a storyline out of it, or a comic book. I still hope to do that in the future of my career, but I kind of put those guys in there as an Easter egg. I like to hide them in a lot of my drawings. So in more drawings, people should try to find like a mask or something, or like a little yellow sweatshirt. But I think this drawing really highlights subconscious for me, versus reality, versus what we believe. Like the city that I was drawing to the left, it's kind of being consumed by the person staring at their hand, and the darkness and the spiral of their brain that is happening there. I think also, like in astrology, because that's one of my interests, is this drawing's really showing the 6th and 12th house, which are opposites of each other. The 6th house is ruled by Virgo, and it really relates to day-to-day activities, our routines, our work life, our environment, health, fitness, kind of how we go about life, our acts of service, and the sacrifices we make in our lives, versus the 12th house, which is opposite, and it's ruled by Pisces, and it's the afterlife, it's the subconscious, it's, our dream state. It's kind of like the in-between of reality versus afterlife. And, it's illusions, but it's also illuminations, because we all have a part of ourselves that we can't see and we can't understand, but other people can see in us. I like to relate to the 12th house a lot as like, it's kind of like you can't see the back of your head, but other people can see the back of you walking. For you to see it, you have to look at a mirror. And I think the mirror is, our routines. So it's kind of what subconsciously drives us. It's kind of what we're unaware of, but we put towards ourselves every day. And the red strings that could indicate fate, or whatever it may be, the beliefs we hold about ourselves. There's something within us that drives us, or that we believe about ourselves, that we kind of aren't aware, that controls us in some way. And we can have power over that, or maybe we can't. It's not up to me. I don't know. I don't really. It's just how it is. These are things that we can't really make sense of. It's kind of just feelings or theories or philosophies, whatever it may be. But I do find it very interesting, and especially with the background of this drawing, the trees and everything I kind of just decided to go with and create these spirals of kind of like the mess of life. I find a lot of calmness in the woods and, just away from the hustle and bustle of daily life, I guess. The woods is very calming, so I decided to keep it as the background, even though I experimented a lot with what I wanted to go there. I think that was the hardest part of this drawing, is I didn't know really what to put the background as, besides the two left and right. But overall, I really, really enjoyed making this drawing after all that time, and I thought it was just going to be a doodle, but it turned out to be very important to me. Towards the end of this eyeball as well, there's like writing in the veins. It actually says, "Remember your roots," and I'm not really sure what that means. And my signature is there in the squiggles. It's pronounced FOTOSOTM. And yeah, I'd love to know other people's interpretations of this drawing, what sticks out to them, what it means to you, what you think it could mean, and thank you for watching. I hope this narration provided some type of insight or relaxation for you.